knowing that this is now nice and clean, and also open the stereo image out so that the ambience is now stereo or 5.1, depending on what sort of format project I'm working in. And of course, the great thing is, if you've got a project where it is underscored by music, once we put the music back in, who would ever know?
The Shard, the tallest building in Europe, epitomises the change in architectural trends that we've seen.
So there we go. There we can solve that police siren, because spectral repair is really, really good for dealing with sudden sounds. So whistles in pop concerts, cracks and pops in microphones. You know, when you get explosive, you get a really... Matt, can you just put the spectral repair window back up for me? You get really deep, dark blobs around the low end, and you can go in with spectral repair and just take that little blob out, and you will take the pop away. So it's far and away for me the best way of depopping something. I used to use level or low frequency filters to try and get rid of it, but spectral repair is a way, way more effective way of cutting that. Now, the last thing I want to show you is another typical audio problem we get. You often, because it wasn't an audio specialist acquiring the audio, and that is clipped audio. You can see from the waveform that the audio has been clipped off. You see these real sharp areas. The audio has been chopped off because the audio somewhere from the workflow, from the microphone to where we are now, the audio has exceeded our ceiling, our headroom, and that's what happens. We get this clipping clipping the audio off the top. So it sounds pretty horrible.
You know, takes you away from the people that you love, like, you know, takes you away from the people that you love, like.
So what can we do about that? Well, we have a module. We're going to show it here, declip, in the standalone. It is a plugin as well. And we have a feature where we can set the settings. This white line here is telling me where the clipping is taking place. And so again, you don't need to be an audio specialist to understand this, because we have a suggest button. So if we just hit the suggest button, it gives us a very good starting point. Now, a lot of audio specialists, including me, just tend to push that in just a little bit beyond that little white line, because it just produces a sweeter sound. So now we've done that, we can process that, and you can see here that we've recalculated, we've generated audio beyond the clipping points. It has reconstructed the audio that has been clipped off at some point and reconstructed. So now if we play that,
you know, takes you away from the people that you love, like, you know, takes you away from the people that you love, like.
That is so much better. And then I could go on and use the denoiser to tidy that up even more, sweeten it up, then put my nice controllable background ambience on it, and hey presto. So, how can you use RX3 and RX3 Advanced in your projects? You've seen it here used in Pro Tools 11, working because RX3 is now AX 64-bit supported, so we can use it in Pro Tools 11, but it also will work in any non-linear editor that will support audio units plugins, so that's Final Cut Pro and Final Cut X. It will also work in any non-linear editor that supports VST, so that's Adobe Premiere Pro, for example. It also works in any non-linear editor that supports RTAS, so Media Composer. So all the usual suspects for non-linear editors, both audio and video, RX3 and RX3 Advanced will now work. And then you've also got the standalone element of it, which I tend to use when I want to use a lot more analysis and get in there forensically to really tidy up the audio. And there's lots of great other features. We've got this really good time and pitch feature, really useful for sorting out pitch errors. If something's at the wrong sample rate, you can tidy that up. If it's the wrong pitch because we've done a frame rate conversion, that can be fixed. If we need to change the pitch of an audio because there's an intonation problem, something rising pitch, we can tidy that up now with time and pitch. We've got all the other usual modules. We've got a great module here, Deconstruct, which allows us to separate the tonal and the broadband noise elements. It's great for sound design work to be able to separate those two out. So this is way more than a restoration package. Sound designers can use it. So here we've got a clock. We just play that now. Okay. So we've got here elements of the mechanism, and here we've got elements of the actual chimes. So now what we've done is taken all the tonal elements out, so we're just left with the mechanism. Can you play that? The sound designers find that tricky. Sound designers find that incredibly useful. I use it often on recordings, perhaps where I've recorded a flautist, flute player, who's maybe got a very breathy sound, which is a little unpleasant to listen to. So what I'm able to do is to separate out the breathy elements, turn that down a bit, so I still get the lovely tone and character of the flute, but without all the breathiness. So lots and lots of options to go at with RX3 and RX3 Advanced. We'll be outside. If you've got any further questions, you want to take another look at it, we, all the team from Isotope and myself, will be glad to help. Thank you very much indeed.
That's just not fair.